Ribs are a favorite around here, and I know it will be around your house too. And with these simple instructions, you're going to be able to knock out ribs. This is Ribs for Beginners right here on Brisket Medic. To get you started on your way to making awesome ribs a very simple way, let's go ahead and dig in and get our ribs prepped up. Let's get these ribs going. We've got the Smithfield St. Louis style pork spare ribs, and pop them out of here, get them wiped down. And this is going to require very, very little trimming, very little setup. I always cut on the bone side, and get this pulled out and wiped down. Well, as you can see, folks, this sucker sat too high in the porch fridge for too long, and this side over here is frozen, got a little frostbite to it, so I'm actually going to trim that off. Normally I wouldn't. I would just take this loose stuff off right here, like so. Let's flip this over. Just don't want that loose stuff to burn up. Flip it over on this side. You see it got a little discolored, so we're going to take it off right there. Again, not normally something that you have to worry about. This one sat in the top of the fridge, and it gets really cold up there. Got a little freezer burnt. So let's go ahead and take this sucker off. That bone, second bone over. A little frozen. That's all right. All right. Got that off. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Be honest with you. All right. Other than that, I think we're good to go. Again, we've got the membrane, just a few scores this way. We're going to cook these pretty tender, and we don't want the bones to just fall out. So we do want to keep a little bit of the membrane on there. So I like to do it just like that. Beautiful. This is all trimmed up exactly how we want it. Once you've got your ribs prepped up, let's go ahead and check out how we're going to set up our Weber Kettle. Now, this will work on any kind of cooker that you have. I'll go over times and temperatures as well, but let's see how we set up for our offset cooking on the Weber Kettle. Let's add some charcoal to it. So here you can see our slow and sear is filled all the way to the top with charcoal, but not too much that our grate is going to be hitting it. We're going to be lighting that on one end and letting it burn minion style, and that means we're just going to light it one spot and let it slowly burn throughout. We're going to adjust our bottom grates halfway open, our top grates halfway open, get this lid up, shut everything down, and let it get the temperature. It's going to be right around 275 with those settings. Don't forget, guys, the slow and sear has a water pan in it built in. Let's go ahead and put some water in it. Keep some moisture in there as we're cooking. If you don't have one of these, you can just use a water pan or you can spritz. Either way, as long as you're keeping a moist environment, you're going to have a great bark and keep your edges from getting too dry. Now that everything's trimmed up and Weber's set up, let's go ahead and get this bad boy rubbed down. We're going to turn around onto the back side, and it's got a little bit of moisture on it, but we are going to use some mustard, and this is simply to help everything bind and be even. Now, these ribs were moist, and you definitely could go without a binder. You don't have to. I think a binder adds a level of stickiness that just moisture doesn't, for elements that don't soak into the meat, like pepper and garlic and things like that, because salt and sugar are really the only things that are going to soak into your meat. So I like to use a binder, mustard, Worcestershire sauce, whatever. On top of that, we're going to be using Ash Kickin' Barbecue, Honey Chipotle Barbecue, and this is from Sucklebusters, and my friends over there sent that to me. I appreciate it. Get a nice coat on there, just press it in. Get that top side. Flip it over. Do the same thing. A little bit of mustard. Rub it in real good. Nice little coat. Get the edge. All right. Beautiful little coat. And while our grill sets up to temperature, I'm going to let that just sit there and rest in, but not before I hit this top side. Of course, a little bit of 16 mesh black pepper. Can't help it. I got to have a little bit of it. Those things are already looking gorgeous. All right, guys, we've got our ribs trimmed up. We've got our Weber ready to go. We've got them seasoned up. Let's go ahead and get our meat slapped across the grill. All right, guys, they've been on for an hour and a half. We're going to take a look at them. I bet these are ready to wrap. Let's take a look, see. Oh, yeah. See how everything's really set in. There's a little bit of moisture there in the valleys, but other than that, it's nice and dry. Great mahogany color. This is ready to wrap. Let's go over, get our foil set up. All right, guys, let's get this foil set up. Extra wide, heavy duty foil. Kind of loud, sorry about that. And then I like to go with, can't believe it's not butter. You can just use pads of butter, maybe 3 tablespoons worth. But I like to just give a good spray down on the bottom. And then I like to shake a little bit more of our shake on there. Layers of flavor. And then your favorite barbecue sauce. I'm using a little Head Country apple habanero. This is a nice runny sauce, not too thick. It's not going to burn up too fast. And then we're going to place our ribs on it face down and do the same exact thing on the back side. Face down. Lots of good butter. About 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter, like I said. Or just completely coat it with your spray. Hit it with a little bit of rub. Beautiful. And a little bit of our, I'm using, like I said, Head Country apple habanero. Give it that moisture for the wrap. All right. And we're going to wrap it up real tight. Front to back. Nice and tight. Okay. Don't poke the bones through. That's why we use the heavy duty foil extra wide. Just like that. Nice and tight. We don't want it to steam. We just want it to braise up. Then we'll put it back on the smoker. All right, folks. So we've gone an hour and a half unwrapped. They've been wrapped for 1 hour. It's time to go ahead and open them up. Flip them over in that foil. Kind of make a foil boat. Glaze the top. Finish them off. I'll show you how we know when they're done here in just a little bit. All right, like I said, they've been unwrapped for an hour and a half. They've been wrapped for an hour. They smell amazing, guys. Our charcoal's about halfway burnt. Great rib pullback there. You can see that. Beautiful rib pullback. And so what we're going to do is we're going to flip these bad boys over. We're going to full boat them. We're going to let them finish out. Just like this. Kind of in a full boat. Keep all those liquids down inside there, and it's going to kind of steam them. This is how Texas barbecue guys have been doing it for years. This isn't anything new. So we've got it over here to the side. Fire over here. Meat over here. Put it over to the side. We might even glaze it a little bit with a little bit of barbecue sauce. Again, a loose sauce like Head Country is what you want. You don't want it to burn on there or get clumped up or anything like that. So that's the advantage of having kind of a loose sauce. Do whatever you want. So we're 2.5 hours in. We've just glazed it. I'm going to throw the lid back on it. Let it keep going. I'm going to check on it in another half hour. This will probably be ready to check for tenderness in 45 minutes. But we'll check it in a half hour, and I'll show you how to do that then. All right, folks, it's been a half hour, and we're going to go ahead and check these for tenderness. Now, I'm using a little stainless steel pick. You can use a toothpick or a temp probe. I use these for ribs. It's something that I made. You can ask Brother CJ, Clarence Joseph, Mama and Papa Joe about that. And I'll show you how you use this or a toothpick to check the tenderness of our ribs. Come on. They are looking beautiful. And you can see the areas between the bones here. See that little hump there? That's between the bone. So we're going to take our toothpick or our pick, and we're going to press it in there and see how easy it pulls in and out. If it pulls out with just barely any resistance, they are what I call done. They're going to be bite off the bone, clean bite, finished. Now, if you want them to be completely fall off the bone, you need them to be where you push them in there and there's no resistance going in or out. That's when they're fall off the bone tender. You make them to your tenderness of likeness. I like mine to be a full, clean bite through. So I like mine to have just a hair bit of a tug as I pull out, but still easy to push in. That's how you make ribs, guys. It's super easy. About an hour and a half unwrapped, an hour wrapped up, 30 minutes after you glaze them. Beautiful, amazing ribs. You can do at home and impress your family and friends. This is Brisket Medic. I love you guys. Drink more water, like and subscribe.